It's your girl, Kaye Plum, and you are now tuning into the new podcast, Okay Regarding That. We discuss everything from politics, entertainment, the latest news, and so much more. So now, let's get into it. So, welcome to the Okay Regarding That podcast. This is another new episode. We are back a month later with the girls, Michelle and Tina. Just before we get started, I want to say we did not plan this, guys. We are all dripped up in white today.
Yes.
And it's all about that Galantine talk. We know we have questions, and I think it's time for the audience to kind of get to know Michelle and Tina a little bit more, right? So,
Good.
Let's start with Michelle. Introduce yourself. Give the people them a little blurb about you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Lee. I'm Features of a Goddess on Instagram. I've known Camilla since high school, really good friends, and I love and support everything that she's doing. So we're here to talk about whatever she wants to talk about and give our opinions and our feedbacks.
Hey, I'm Tina, guys. Hi. I go as Moscato Red on Instagram and AKA Tina So Fly. I am really excited about this topic because I love hard. So I'm excited to get deep down in this. I'm so happy that Miss Kaye Plum has come up with the opportunity to showcase this. So I'm ready to spread my wings and y'all can see another side of me.
Yes.
Last one.
Yes. And listen, I just want the audience to know, you definitely will be seeing more girl features and guy features. It's just that sometimes, it's a girl time, then it's boy time, then it's probably going to be panel time. And I wanted to get some more girls on as well. But, when we talk about, us gathering and going over topics, especially for the podcast, I feel like a lot of people need to kind of know a little bit more about the people that are going to be featured on the podcast. So as you ladies know, we are now talking about the whole love combo regarding Valentines. So I have an opening question, right? Because we're talking all that shit today. We talking, love languages. We talking dating and sex. We talking all of that. So I want you guys to give your honest and real perspectives. It doesn't matter if it doesn't in line with what we all think and feel. So, all right, let's start with, we can go with either or, whoever wants to jump in first. All right, let's go with Tina. Okay, Tina, we're going to start with you.
Okay. I would definitely love to jump in this one.
When it comes to Valentine's, it's a question for both of you, but we're starting with Tina.
Yeah.
One, do you celebrate Valentine's Day in your relationship? Have you done it in the past? Do you currently do it now? And what does Valentine's Day mean for you?
All right. One, I'm going to say this, Valentine's should be every day. And I don't really glorify any holidays. I'm that type of girl because I should receive gift any and any time. It shouldn't be specified when, because it's a day. No, if you need to hop up and be like, listen, let's take a trip here, let's go here, or let's have a candlelight dinner, or let's do this, or let's do that. Not on Valentine's Day. If I do get a gift, I'm happy about it, but I'm really not, I don't be looking for it. I really don't.
So you don't celebrate Valentine's Day?
I don't celebrate any holidays. Any
holidays? Okay.
None.
Okay.
So,
Michelle?
Okay, well, I celebrate Valentine's Day. And why I agree with you that, yes, I should get gifts all the time. Well, not every day, but it should be consistent gifts and trips and dinners in relationships. But sometimes we fall into routines where we don't get to express our love as often as we want with gifts and trips because, we have careers and we have families, and then sometimes we're taking care of other family members. So we don't get the lavish lifestyle that we think we deserve or we want sometimes. So Valentine's Day is a day to make up for that, I believe.
Okay.
Especially if there's a time where, you haven't been going out for the last couple of months and you haven't really been intimate because someone is sick or you're busy. It's a day to say, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this day. Not necessarily because it's Valentine's Day, but it puts a thought in your head to say it's time to do something thoughtful. I think that's what Valentine's Day could mean versus just saying, oh, it's a day to give your girl gifts and shower your man. And because I think it goes both ways. I think both people should give gifts if they're going to give gifts. I think it's something that should be agreed upon so one person doesn't feel bad for not getting something. I think, each individual person is different. And sometimes you may not be in the mood for Valentine's Day. It means just, okay, we're going to put the kids to bed early and we're going to have a glass of wine and put our feet up, because we haven't done that either in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the atmosphere and the nature of the relationship at the time. But for couples that, it's mandatory because of whatever reason, then they should have an agreement so that there isn't a misunderstanding at the time. Because I think that's what happens on Valentine's Day a lot, especially when you're just dating and you're not exclusive.
Yeah, that's true.
Valentine's Day is if, I'm used to getting XYZ because I was in a relationship for 4 years. And then you put that expectation on a new man who's been in a relationship and he hasn't celebrated it. And you haven't talked about it because you don't know where the relationship is. And that's what we've communication. So I think if I'm dating, I'm going to let the person know I'm dating, that I celebrate Valentine's Day. Yeah. And I don't care if we have been talking for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 months or 8 months. I'm not saying you have to pull out diamonds, because you don't, and you don't ever have to. But a recognition of the day, it don't have to be a card saying, oh, you love me, or, things like that. But I think recognition of the day, if you want to send flowers, edible arrangements, or, a balloon and a rose or anything, thoughtful. A gift with Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or whatever, he thinks or he knows you prefer, something simple. But and vice versa, you have to do the same for him, And
I was going to ask
the language that you teach.
Yeah, I just want to piggy bank. It's not that I, disown or like neglect Valentine. It's not that. I don't expect it, because if a person is always getting flowers every other day, or you going out to dinner every other day, or you taking trips and doing certain things normally, right? Mm-hmm. That pressure on that one day, I'm not waiting. I'm not looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that's supposed to happen.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's something that's supposed to be given. So just on that day, we're going to be doing things that we normally do. You understand what I'm saying? That we normally do
So you're saying that on that day, on Valentine's Day, you're not looking for something extra special.
I'm not looking for anything extra special, for the simple fact that I normally do that.
Oh, interesting.
So
you're not looking for anything special because you're always being celebrated. You're always celebrating
each other every other time that we get a chance to.
And that's what happens in long-term relationships. Yeah, you're in a long-term relationship. You have a status quo. You have a foundation, and you know what to expect or not to expect. So if you
it's tricky though. I'm gonna say that's a tricky part.
Yeah. So I'm
gonna tell you why. Okay. So I think that it depends on, y'all know I'm big on terms and agreements. So I'm gonna start there. I'm big on terms and agreements, but I think that, okay, so my dude at the time, my husband at the time was like, he doesn't celebrate certain holidays. Now at the time I remember thinking he must be like, let me see if he's an intellect or he's just running game, and meaning you have men that will say there are certain holidays they really don't like mess with at all. Like they don't fuck with, you know what I mean? They're not celebrating it, whatever. But there's other holidays, or I guess celebratory moments like a Mother's Day, Father's Day, or maybe their birthdays, that will be like their highlight. So that was kind of like what I got from my dude. It was like, I don't really celebrate the holidays. Now, I grew up culturally in my household, we didn't celebrate holidays. So I do understand the notion around, as women, right? If you're saying, well, chivalry shouldn't be dead in my relationship at all anyway. So even when we talk about the thoughtness of it all and that reminder that happens when we do partake in these holidays, for me, I always thought it was the man buys something for the woman. I never thought it was both. So even when I would ask, because I guess even back then, I never took holidays very serious. So I will say, like, I agree with you, Tina, with that. Like, I guess, like, initially I'm not thinking, well, it's going to be anything special. But I do remember, like, years back, and I think I told you, T, I was like, I'm going to start saying I celebrate these holidays. Because sometimes, Legend be acting like, chivalry is dead around here. And she would be like,
bring back the date.
Like, no, it'll be fine. Because, again, the same thing, like you said, like how it involves maybe the kids. Like he'll probably give the kids something to give me. He's very into those things.
Right.
But overall, It's like, would he even celebrate it? No. So I basically told him one day, like, oh, I'm celebrating it now. It's just about love. Like, I'm celebrating it. And he was into it, but I can tell like that's not his thing. But he does think of it as like, okay, I guess my lady is reminding me that I need to, show her something special. Because I'm not a flower girl too. And I was going to ask that, like, when you look at how the traditional gifts are served, the flowers, the this, the that, are you even that type of woman? Is that the type of gifts you like to receive? Or like you said, if it's about you showering me all the time, then I'm looking for like maybe the small things that you're doing that day. I'm looking for how you really pay attention to me or show me that you really love me, vice versa. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that? We can start with Michelle. What's your thoughts on that? You know, because you said that they thought it was both men and women, right?
Yes, I think it should go both ways. I don't think it's just a holiday for a woman, because love is love and it goes both ways. And I think you have to treat your partner the exact same way you want to be treated. There is no difference. Don't ask for anything that you're not willing to give.
Yeah.
And that's in everything, in its entirety. If you want me to buy you a car, be prepared to buy me a car if that's what I say what I want.
Okay.
Or a pencil, be prepared to buy me, it doesn't matter, but don't ask for anything that you can't give, because it's not fair. Unless you are a stay-at-home mom and you're raising kids. But if you're a working woman and we're working and we're in the same lane and we're doing the same things, then it shouldn't be a problem.
So in celebrating Valentine's Day, you've gifted the man and he's
absolutely
gifted you. Okay. Tina, have you celebrated with both?
To be honest, that's like the first. Michelle, I never heard of, well, not saying never heard, but I ain't never did that. I never gifted the man because for me, I'm an independent, strong woman. Regardless if I have my significant other for years, I always hold my situation in my house.
This is my time. Sorry.
My children and my household down, right? So my thing is I'm deserving of so much because I do a lot. So I give gifts. I give it on birthdays. I give it out the blue whenever. Is no pinpoint time to give it. But Valentine's Day, I never would have thought of like, oh, let me give him something. I mean, he could use a boxes or a robe or something.
Boxes?
I'm just saying something sexy, something that I may think, or I probably do nothing lavishes like a hotel or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right.
He needs to do that. But just the thought of me giving him, I never thought of that. I'm always the receiver because I'm always giving everything else.
I'll say this.
I'm the receiver. So I'm expecting.
I've never dated anybody prior to, or even when it came to my husband, I never was asked to buy anything or like, I don't know. I don't know if I've lucked out, but I'll say like, I guess like certain men, they may just be okay with that because, and this leads me to something I saw recently about, ladies need to not act like, the punani is a gift and Valentine's Day come. They was like, y'all better not be acting like that's a gift. And, a lot of the ladies just like, well, wait a minute now. That's a real good gift.
It's a gift.
Especially if it's wrapped
It's a gift, right?
It is a gift.
Some savage fancy.
But it's the exact same gift like Tina said. You get all the time. So if you're getting it all the time, you may feel like it's not a gift, but I may give it to you different because it is a gift. I may be holding
even if it's wrapped up in a bow and you bought some savage fancy, to.
Of course, it's a gift.
It is a gift.
The only time giving it differently will be at a different location, not at the same location.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's different. I may be a totally different person.
I think it's fair to say that. Listen,
absolutely.
I think it's fair to say that if you're going to engage, if you're going to engage,
exactly,
you're going to engage celebrating, right?
Okay,
exactly.
I think that's interesting.
The scenery brings out someone different.
Yes, it does.
That's right.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, women are saying, whether it's the reversal, right? Whether you feel as though you need to be adored or not. I've always been maybe pampered on that day. So I will say that Silently, I've never like said out loud if I don't celebrate anything. I just kind of wait and see, because I have this notion that I think a man or anybody that you're dating, they're supposed to spend some time actually, getting to know who you are, like how you smile, or maybe how you, receive whatever it is that they may be offering up, right? How does she actually appreciate love? Is she into me? All of those things. And that brings me to like love languages, because we're talking about Valentine's Day. We're talking about, the love languages of it all, and whether you celebrate it or you don't, whether you know the true origin of this Valentine's Day or not. For the average you and I, and the girls here, it's a day to commemorate love, whoever you may be in love with.
Right.
So, in saying that, I want to talk about love languages, right? Because we know that the panani is definitely a gift, right? And we know that Michelle, you're gonna reciprocate and buy a gift. Tina, it depends on your dude, right? Because you need to be showered all the time, right? And me, I guess I'm going with the win. I'm just
conversation and his acting, the way he speak, gotta do something to me.
Okay, now before we get, so it would probably make sense for me to ask this before we get into love languages, because when we talk about love languages, I feel like it encompasses all of that you've experienced as well. So some people's love languages are different today than it was years ago. Yes. But when it comes to your children, even if you had a moment where you celebrated or didn't celebrate Valentine, did you find yourself being more a participant of the holiday once you had children? And do you gift your children things for Valentine's, whether you have boys or girls? Or is it just a thing for you as the adults?
Oh, I gift my children for Valentine.
Okay.
Absolutely. Every year.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
I do not.
You do not?
I do not. I never did. I do not. I do not go to the store and let them pick out Valentine's. I don't.
You don't make a chocolate cake.
I don't. I mean, I cook regular dinner. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm gonna be honest.
So you believe that it's only for the adults, right? To be honest, only for you.
Like I said, Valentine's is every day. That's love right there. I cook every day. I wash the clothes. I clean the house. I go out and bust my butt to work for them. Give them clothes. It's all love. That's the Valentine's every day.
Okay, so I'll say this. I don't know. I take a little bit after grandma. So I feel like I said, my immediate mother and father didn't celebrate certain holidays. And they really are by the book. If the history books say that it was no good, they're not celebrating it. But I do take the approach of my grandmother's. And I think that I'm learning a little bit more about what it is to like stand against something, support something, or be all in. And I will say that when I look at it from an angle of, okay, it's a love day, right? I know if my kids go to school or if they're around any friends, they're going to want to partake in this somehow. It's sort of like the whole Halloween theory, right? At some point, I found myself like, even when they were younger, I would say, okay, well, I'll still get them some chocolate. That's my thing to the kids. I love getting them chocolate. Yes. And there's times I've made the cake. And so what I'll do is I'll make it a part of the dinner. But I'm a big fan of cards. I feel like sometimes cards have a way of saying things that people are shy to say to each other. And it's so refreshing. Like if we're eating dinner or we're about to go out with the kids, I love when they open their cards or they're reading it. Yeah. So I find that the smallest things in just showing that I thought of you today, this is so-and-so, my kids like look forward to chocolate. They're not even looking forward to nothing else. Like no money, they're just like, mommy, I know mommy's going to give me a lot of chocolate. And I do think that when you look at whether women think it's just a holiday for them to be gifted and men saying, no, it should go both ways. I do think that, there are certain holidays that may gear up women to receive more, as if there's like a silent notion that women are deserving of more versus men. We see that with Mother's Day, Father's Day, but with Valentine's Day, you now have men speaking up and saying it needs to go both ways.
Women are deserving of more. We are deserving of more. And that's why we ask for monogamy, because it's a lot for a man to give.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
I'm just saying, this is why we ask, because we deserve it. We naturally want it. Men don't. So it's something that they have to give up to be monogamous.
They say women start their prime around like in their 40s or after 35. And for men are looking to settle in their 40s in terms of marriage and everything else versus when they are in their 30s and 20s. And a lot of that stems from what you said, Michelle, like whether they are choosing not to be monogamous, or some of them who have, I guess, got into relationships very earlier on are more inclined to cheat, right? Have infidelity.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what the F, right? WTF. So in saying that, as a single person that's dating, right? And, you know, T, even you, myself as well, like as a single person dating, Michelle, I want you to start off first as well. And kind of express, like, as you look at Valentine's Day, you're more than happy to share anything extra that you want with the audience.
Okay.
Because you are the juice teller, okay? But how do you find balancing dating in a pandemic, as well as now with Valentine's coming around, which is tomorrow? Do you find that it's, you know, I guess, I don't know, difficult? Is it difficult dating in a pandemic? And then two, if you multi-dating, do you find it difficult to schedule time with maybe another person who wants to celebrate Valentine's Day with you?
I don't think the pandemic has made it difficult because I don't really have a lot of time as it is.
Okay.
Because I have multiple children and I like to be home with them. I like to be involved. You know, I love them and I want to spend as much time as I can with them because they're growing up. But I think dating is the same. I think with the pandemic, the thing that changes that you can have more time before you actually have to meet someone in person or have to have a first date because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's part of the schedule. You know, you have to think about the risk you're going to take if you think that person is worth the risk. Also, you know, is the conversation good enough for you to say, all right, I'm going to take the risk and go out to a restaurant with this person, you know, and what can happen afterwards. So I think the pandemic is good in that way because it gives you more time to make decisions about if you like this person enough that you want to date them at all anyway. But I think it depends on the time frame that you've been dating a person when it comes to Valentine's Day, when it comes to getting a gift or you know, things together or celebrating, because some people are skeptical because it's a love day and I may not love you. So I don't want to celebrate it with you because I don't love you yet.
Yeah.
Or at all, or whatever the case may be, you know, and
no, that's a good one. That's a great.
But that's why a lot of men say they don't celebrate it because I have a girlfriend that I've only been dating for 3 months. I don't love her, but now I'm getting everything that says I love you, I love you, I love you. But then that's again going back to communication. It's a conversation that needs to be had when you're dating somebody, especially if Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah,
and you have an expectation of what you may be used to. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
and this is a holiday where people break up because they frustrated or they had an expectation or they thought something. And men aren't mind readers, and we learned that very early on. You have to tell them what you want. You have to tell them what you want, what you like, and how you want it, and how you like it, and hope they don't take it as controlling. But I'm trying to get you to know me so that we can move this along.
Hello. Okay.
I mean, that's that. On that,
I like that. Nice and simple and sweet.
Yes.
You have to know. You know, they say with dating in the pandemic, you know, I guess like the whole video chatting, you know, seems to be something that tells more of a personal note if you want to, like you said, go out to eat or you want to do more interfacing with the person.
Right.
A lot of people like that live interaction experience, but a lot of people too that may be shy in certain ways or maybe saying, well, I'm going about my next relationship a little bit differently. They may have, you know, I think they would probably be more receptive to saying, I would rather do video first, you know, or I would rather kind of really get to know, because you can ask some of those questions that you sometimes don't get to ask if you're going on, say, like a good looking date, you know, when you know both of y'all asses are attractive as AF, and you looking at the menu, but you looking at the person, and you know you're
looking at both menus,
right? Okay. Okay. So it goes both ways, and I do think that I think that as we keep saying that, you know, there's so much challenges with what happened in 2020 and now with 2021 and how it's starting. I think that when you reflect on love, Because if we remove the history component of Valentine's Day and we just focus on how are we exercising love for us, whether it's as a people in our relationships, whether we want it in dating or in a couple per se, I think I'm reminded through my children that what it is to be selfless. So even when I think of like the love languages and, what that means for me, I'm thinking always about, what are my moments where I'm so selfless? Am I most happy in those moments serving others or how I give to others? Or am I more comfortable or whole or at peace when I'm also receiving it and I'm also on that same high when I give it, right? So I'm actually getting both things out universally. And when it returns back to me, I'm on a high just because I love to be that genuine person. So with love, it's like, it's supposed to be that experience of infinity. So when I think of people that say I'm lonely on Valentine's Day, I think that people only relate it to just being in a relationship as opposed to looking at it holistically.
Absolutely.
Like, why don't you spend that day with somebody you love or whatever. Have you ever been lonely, ladies, on Valentine's Day, whether you was with a partner or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Tina, you want to start that?
Yeah, I've been lonely. I mean, I stayed home many times on Valentine's Day,
but lonely meaning you was with someone and they forgot about the day, or just okay. Yeah, give the audience some perspective here because we need to know.
How about this? I was asked to go out.
Okay.
And I was declined the same day on Valentine's. So I wound up saying,
so after you said yes.
After I said yes.
It was a cancel.
And it was canceled. And I found out later on why it was canceled. That person couldn't go because he had his main girl, his wife, his main girlfriend he's been with for years.
Right.
And I said,
this is good.
It was so funny because when we spoke, I said, all right, no problem. You canceled, fine. At the time when I found out that it was the reason why he really canceled, the next day he wanted to see me, and I was like, no, I'm not going to see you. Because the whole reason that you canceled is, first of all, you didn't even let me know about the long relationship you had or your current relationship that you had. And this is the reason why I had situations with Valentine's period. Like, I don't deal with it because
you don't want to be
I don't want to be
rejected at no point.
No, I don't want to be, nobody wants to be rejected for no.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So that's a trigger. What I'm saying is that that's a trigger moment for you.
It's a trigger moment for me, but I don't expect it for the simple fact that I don't like to get already my hopes and then to feel that at that moment, you get the call and it's like, no, we're not going to do nothing. It's like, oh, chill, You
feel like you wasted your time.
I wasted my time, and everything. So I deaded him after that.
Obviously.
It was over.
I can just tell by the way you were retelling the story.
It was definitely
to still be triggered. Sister, wait a minute. Is it 2021? I'm still mad. I'm
not holding it, but it's still a situation because
it still stings. It still stings a little bit.
Yeah, because dudes just need to be honest. Like if he was just real about it from the day one, like, listen, I got my I got spend time with my wife or whatever the case may be. I can't flex with you. We pick another day or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Be something different.
Off that situation because you lied, and the way I found out, and then you try to tell me there's mine. No, brother. No. No. I don't think so.
You pissed. So
you cut.
This is pissed.
You cut. You blocked.
Listen, I will never forget when he finally told me what it was, and it wasn't what I thought it was.
No, it wasn't what I thought it was. I was
you canceled because you got to take the main girl out.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, definitely.
When did that happen?
Michelle, you up?
What was the question?
You forgot the question. See what I'm saying? Oh my God. The question was whether you were in a relationship or not. Have you been like, I guess, canceled on or been isolated, right? Being
Oh, been
solo.
alone.
Yeah,
Right.
on
Yes,
Valentine's Day.
definitely. When I was married, there were times where we weren't seeing eye to eye, so we didn't celebrate it. We didn't wish each other a lovely day, and we didn't get cards, but that's life. It's not devastating. It's not a trigger for me. It doesn't turn me off. I know that that's something to expect in a long-term relationship. Everything is not great all the time, but that's knowing that is what make relationships work. If you're expecting to be smiling and tears of joy and, vacationing and loving, 24/7, that's not reality. And so it didn't swing to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I may have been upset, like, oh, you still ain't get me something. I don't get me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't solidify the relationship because, things happen. But I've been, there's times if I was mad and Valentine's Day came around and he was mad, I sit in a room by myself or go upstairs or a different part of the house or go outside and go shopping. We're entitled to be upset with each other. It doesn't matter what the holiday is.
Yeah, I don't think that you need to, when it comes to, I think just like relationships, I think that, certain things you can overlook because you may know that, okay, you know what, I can see this person forgetting that. They've been probably super busy, whatever. That's things that you can physically see as well, right? But then there's moments where you're like, I know you're doing this because you probably don't want to, gift or whatever. I find a lot of those, like when they use these memes about what happens in our culture, I know we laugh a lot, but some of those things, like you said, they're trigger spots to some degree, because when you reflect back, it's like, why didn't you just do something? Like if you're familiar with this date every year, why don't you just do something? And I think, for me, I'm big on birthdays, right? So if the birthdays is something that I can always have in my memory bank, I feel as though if you're celebrating a holiday and you want to celebrate that with the person that you're with, there should probably be a small discussion, communication of some sort, because sometimes if a person feels as though you've already operated outside of something where they think that you are super materialistic or whatever, they're probably not thinking that you will be so interested in what they do that day from morning to night. They're looking for you to be like, it's okay, babes, if you don't get me anything today, we'll just be rocking out together. There is some men that will probably offer up themselves more because they feel as though women make things more intentional when it comes to certain holidays. Like we literally are sitting around waiting, like, he better
prepping. We prep months ahead.
He better buy something. And what if that man, maybe didn't get to do overtime? What if he's not in the financial bracket at that moment of his life? In the moment of, you met him years ago, but now this particular year he doesn't have it. I think there was something you said, Michelle, to me before that still sticks with me. And you were talking about, the gift of like wanting your partners to be honest, but then the ability to be lied to at the same time. And sometimes as women, whether it's the holiday or whether it's when we're talking about love, right? We have to start getting real about when we say we want honesty, are we also accepting the ability to be lied to? Because some men feel as though they have to do that, whether it's to keep us with them and or so that we don't go find anything better.
Very
interesting. Very interesting. Just wanted to share that.
That's all they need to do. Tell the truth.
Right. It's very simple.
Yeah.
It really is. You be honest, but because if you're honest, then you allow me to make the decision for myself based on the truth. Regardless of what has transpired or what you've said or what you've done. If I can trust you to tell me the truth, then I can trust you that you're going to tell me whenever you fuck up. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Or whenever, you mess up.
That's okay.
Whenever you mess up, if you can come to me and say, I've done this, or, I went on vacation with my friends, blah, blah, blah. I slept with this girl. She's still calling XYZ. I can't. That's the honesty that I can respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus you coming home and now you got your phone in your pocket and this, that, and the third, and it's making our lives miserable.
Yeah.
And it's not to say I'm not going to leave you if you cheated, but I think it's the impact. And then it's always the way we find out if, maybe you spent all the money and it's not cheating, or, maybe you beat the kids and I said, don't beat the kids, or, whatever it is. If you're honest and you can bring it to the table, say, I know you didn't want this, or you didn't ask for this, or I said I wouldn't, but this is what I've done and how can I fix it? And then we can always agree to disagree, but most likely we're going to agree on how to fix it, because you're coming to me saying I messed up versus me having to find out 2 months, 3 months, 8 months when the kids tell me, or your mother slip up and say something, or whatever the case may be, but that's what we
nobody wants to be told through a third party source.
Right.
They want
right.
Great.
They don't.
Especially if you have an inclination and you want to get to the bottom of something and you have like some semi-proof and you act directly whenever it's not answered, and that you got the evidence. It's like,
right.
I think that
you may not even have the evidence. You probably just say it and they will give themselves up
all the time.
You understand what I'm saying? All the time. So it's just it be that. And I was gonna say that I'm not gonna lie. This texting is a problem.
So I'm annoyed.
It's annoying because it's a lack of no communication between someone knowing you getting to know someone. You know what I'm saying? Body language plays a part. I can't tell that through a text. I can't tell half of the conversation that goes on a text if it's positive or negative. Because he may say something and you may reply and he's like, what? I'm confused. No, I'm confused of what you're talking through a text.
Yes.
So if we're voicing our opinion, at least we'll know what both of us is feeling and talking and speaking. So I'm just saying text, I think, plays a major part in relationships. And I don't think that we need it. I think we should just go back to the normal phone conversation.
So it's
in-person conversation, maybe write a letter, mail it.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Write a letter, mail it.
Okay.
Something back in the day, like
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, historically, when you look,
missing that.
Historically, when you look at Valentine's Day, it's supposed to be about like the idol worship. They got the whole Nimrod, Venus. It's a whole backstory to the Cupid's love and everything like that. And it's funny because from the historical context, it's like the person who is supposed to be why they created the date Valentine is supposed to be a person who, I guess, because of their thoughts and because of their lack of maybe feeling as though they didn't receive love, they wanted to receive love. So they created a day. So this is why I say, like, I think about the energy of Valentine's. I'm thinking about like why people have all of these thoughts when, as both of you have already outlined, if you're in a relationship, there are certain things that can be done, whether you're talking to your partner or not, whether you just need to know some of the basics. Because I know personally, like if the difference between when you involved or you're dating somebody, I feel as though maybe the conversation could be had more easier. Because once you're with someone, and because even like the male that spoke last night, he said, if a woman is seeing what you do every day, she's not going to be so, I guess, hyped over something you do in one day. That's not the conversation I'm having with women. Right. Women is like, no, I want to know what he's bringing me for Valentine's Day. And if I give him a gift as well, I want us to share in this moment.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like, is it a difference, or is it more so that maybe we all need to be reminded of what it is to love and be loved, or love and give love?
Yes. I think, again, gift giving goes both ways. I think we lost the avenue of it being just women when women wanted their independence and they wanted to work and they wanted to be treated equal. Well, then there's your equality. I want a gift too. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. I want to give to.
And that's what he's going to say. You asked to be, it's different. There was a time where men just showered women and all we had to do was, again, be beautiful and be on display. And men came to the window and they sent cards and, there was a sitting room and men would come and shower you and all that good stuff. Like, again, Bridgerton, you waiting for your knight in shining armor to show up. Yeah. So no, I didn't have to do anything at that time, but be pretty.
So what about some men that say, when they say, because I've heard this a lot too from men in my private conversations, and it's like, well, to the woman who doesn't ask for much, she gets everything. And those women are showered in a way because it doesn't come off as like a demand or...
And there's no pressure.
Yeah, it's no pressure.
Right.
And I will say that, I do think that there are some men that operate from that mindset because they are secretly looking for love. They're not saying that out the gate.
Right.
They want to be exclusive with you when you're dating them. They don't want you to be dating others, but they
Right.
won't say it because they've also been groomed from friends and peers that say, don't show yourself 100% on day one, right? Don't do X, Y, and Z. But deep down, it's like, if the goal is for all of us to experience love and give love, then at some point, somebody has to fold and be selfless.
Right.
And I think that when you can come to somebody and say, just say you want to celebrate it, but you know that your person is just not interested. You don't see them moving a muscle. They telling you they're going to be broke. They may be telling you something else. You never know. I think it's important to say, hey, is this something that you plan on engaging in this year or not?
Absolutely.
So that you can be a little bit heads up.
I think communication on that level is definitely important. It's like, okay, are we going to celebrate it this year? Because it's not something that you have to celebrate every year. Again, it depends on the situation, what you got going on in your life. Somebody could have lost their job. Am I expecting a gift? No.
True.
It would be selfish of me to expect a gift knowing you lost your job 3 days, 5 days, 6 months, whatever ago. You know, so there are always those situations where, you don't expect anything, or you do expect something and it's like, okay, well, I expected it. What happened? We had an understanding.
Yeah.
Because again, I want to know, are we celebrating it? You say, no, we're not celebrating. All right, no big deal. Or I say, I really want to celebrate this year. I've been in a good mood. We've been in such a great space. We've been intimate. I really want to celebrate it. Maybe not buy anything. Let's go somewhere. Take a couple of days. It don't have to be on Valentine's Day, or how about we plan a weekend or plan 2 days? And it don't have to be the roses and the candy and you did the vacation. You did the massages or the, whatever.
It needs to be,
but
it needs to be something that's good.
Right. A communication is what needs to be had about these holidays. If you are not consistent with someone, over the course of years to say, this is the status quo, this is what we do. And then making sure that, things are set in motion so no one is disappointed.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I say. I mean, it's simple to me, but.
All right,
Tina, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If you want something done, you just need to have that conversation. Like anybody would like a cabin away, candlelight dinner under a fireplace, or a trip anywhere, rose petals and stuff. But I don't initiate. I think a man should be doing that. That's the only thing. Like, I shouldn't be telling him.
Oh, definitely. I'm not going to tell you how to date me. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to tell you how to date me, and I'm not going to tell you how to treat me.
Right. I'm not going to tell you.
The rules and the terms are different when you're dealing with women of certain status and certain
ages. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The thing is that if you've been with me for a while, you should know. You should know exactly what I want. You should know what intrigues me. What would bring the light?
But are you willing to say that? Like, so if you were single today, are you willing to have that conversation with another person and say,
which I'm single, right?
Okay.
I'm single. I'm going to say this. I've been in a 15, because Michelle don't know. So I'm going to let her know. I've been in a long relationship, right? And I have been out of the relationship for a while now, right? So I'm the type of person, I dabble in situations. When I say situations, I go out once in a while. I have my time. I have my fun. But right then and then, I pour out all my communications to straight up.
Yes.
And I'm looking for that same communication from that person straight up. No holds, bars, no nothing.
Right.
So I don't feel like listen, Valentine's Day is around the corner. You think I should be telling my little friend that I have on the side that I need to be going here and there and there? If I'm that special, you should be having that plan. You should be having that done. You already know what I want, what I like, because I already gave you that up front. I already let you know what my interest is, what I like, where I want to go or whatever. I already told you. Right. So if I'm rekindling that the next day for Valentine, or even closer to that day, what does that say about me? You know what I'm saying? What is that me implying to you? That, I'm just letting you know this so you could do this nice thing for me. That means I'm telling you.
Right. And I'm not going to do that.
And I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm definitely not going to do that. So if you're into me, you're going to go out for me. And if you're not, then I'm moving left. because I know you ain't from.
Sis says she not even sending a reminder.
Didn't we talk about that the other day, Kay?
This is
I'm not
serious.
sending a reminder.
Right.
I'm not texting a highlight. I'm not giving you a glow because I'm a go. If I
Right.
don't see nothing popping, you ain't it. Peace. Moving on. So, okay, regarding that, exactly. Period. Period.
It is what it is.
Period. Yes.
Period.
Michelle, you want to add to that? Because I
No,
know
she said it all.
I'm just saying.
I understand that. That's
like,
exactly right.
It's a serious time. Listen, it's a serious time because, you know, it's funny because me and Michelle were talking the other day and I said, first of all, you got men are not playing any more games. And I'm talking about the men that's bringing their maturity, their growth, as well as their status. They know where they are economically, financially, and they know what they can provide physically. Right. And I think that even in the case of whether it's 50-50, whether it's independent versus independent, I do think that, you know, it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting year because women too, right? Even our young women, they're not playing. They're letting you know what they want, what they like, what they not having. And I think men who want these type of women as wives and long term, they're now saying, okay, my submission also comes with some things that I'm looking at objectively too.
Right.
That's my thing. So I'm like, is this going to be now like some type of battle? Because you see it now with even the fly me out situation.
Yes.
There's men that they listen. They want to be flown out too. They don't want to just fly you out.
I draw the line.
Exactly.
Okay.
I draw the line.
And that's the thing too, because when I say certain age and a certain status, I'm saying if you've already done the dinners and the restaurants, you may say, well, sweet, after this engagement and us talking, it seems that we are intrigued by doing other things socially that may involve things at a higher money bracket. For men that are in that money bracket, they will normally step to the forefront and kind of propose this initiative. Even if they say, well, this will be paid and then we can, whatever, maybe we can Dutch out some of the days that we're spending on the vacay or et cetera, et cetera. See, I'm giving y'all some gems here.
Oh, no, about that.
Fine. or it's a fully paid expense. So it depends. Some women have taken the 60-40 split where they do some things Dutch and they, majority of it's paid because they want to see that individual in a different element. Some people like privacy and to socialize differently than the normal cultural thing, which is like to go in a setting with other people and see if you're not jittery and shy and all this other stuff. And then other people can do privacy in many different ways. Netflix and chill don't always have to be going to the person's home. You can find other private spaces to go to, but if your desire is to, I want to see if this is going to go any further, you do have to have a moment of some of the elements that include privacy or intimacy or
absolutely,
in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because the way people are stepping into it in 2021, it's like, I'm a catch, I'm high value, you high value.
Right.
It's a different ball game. And I think that I do think that women will speak up more because that's one of the things I got. I got that women were not being as vocal. Women would go through things and they wouldn't say anything. Women would say, hey, I've been with somebody for a long period of time and I noticed that they didn't do things year after year, or there was a pattern of where it's like I neglected my own self-love. Because even when we talk about everything to do with love and Valentine's Day, I think sometimes people forget about self-love and the self-repair that sometimes needs to happen individually, whether we go through a breakup, whether we are involved with somebody. I feel as though there is moments where you got to go, okay, how do I repair self? Because some of us is broken too. Some of us is broken into the little girl who still needs their dad to come by and take them to the park. Some of us need a male to exemplify the fatherly role, the father that may have been there, that did all of these things, but then we went for the bad guys and we got shit in return. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of the healing and the moments of self-repair. I feel like when everybody commits to doing that work, we'll have love on a different level. Like it's a loving world. Like, because secretly people.
But everyone is chasing a bag. They don't want to. They don't have time to repair themselves.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you look at the state now, where everybody's saying, "Let's go get the bag. Let's go get the bag," but some people are looking for the heart. They're looking for another heart, to share with or to beat with, under the sheets and above the sheets. It's a different ballgame out here. I'm just saying, it ain't what we think it is all the time, which is, right. People just want to have, there's clout in everything. Yes. People sometimes feel as though I got to get somebody by the holidays, or I got to get somebody for these particular moments. If I'm a person that goes to church, it's like, I got to get somebody to bring the church on Easter. If I'm a single woman around my friends, I want to show on the holidays, I'm booed up too.
Right.
It's a lot of pressure, but it's like, who's pressuring you? I mean, in what order are you following when you decide the type of love you want to give and receive? I feel like you are the deciding factor.
Right.
If you're the deciding factor, then you should initiate the conversation just like a man should.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing I'm learning differently now as an adult or adulting, right? I'm learning that, wait a minute, you're not far removed too. Like, girl, you got to step in there too. A man sometimes want to hear from the woman too.
Absolutely.
That he is adored and he is loved.
Yep. And he needs praise just as well.
Talk about it.
Absolutely.
I think, I'm gonna start giving out some cue cards to the ladies, because I feel like some of these men, I have to remind myself, because, when you are a mother to a son and a daughter, or if it's just sons as well, you start to see the little, the boy in them, you're like, I got to remember when I'm raising my kids too, like my adult man, sometimes there's a little boy in him sometimes that needs,
nurturing.
Yeah, nurturing. They need love.
And loving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes
I didn't even teach my kids that, see? And then my oldest, my 18-year-old, buys his girlfriend hearts, flowers, Valentine.
Oh, yeah, he does everything.
He does everything.
Beautiful.
And my oldest son is into it. And I didn't prep any of them for that. Because, like I said earlier.
It can also depend on the woman too. It depends on the woman. Some men say, I don't celebrate it, but if my woman wants to, I'll celebrate it for her. And then he may have another girlfriend that say, I don't really care. So they don't celebrate it.
Right.
It depends on the woman. Again, we deserve
what we deserve.
That's true.
Listen,
we want what we want.
To wrap up, we want what we want. We're going to get what we want.
Right.
Okay, cooking and cleaning and birthing the babies. What you talking about? I don't want to hear nothing about I'll pay a bill. That's already supposed to be your priority. That's not included in gifting.
Right.
Let me go ahead and shut up, because I be getting for no damn reason.
I was going to ask, what is the gift? What gift you want to receive on Valentine's that you don't normally receive? What is the gift that you would like to receive on Valentine's?
I'm telling y'all the truth. Like, I feel like I lost out in some years, because I used to literally be like, oh, I don't celebrate that. That's not important to me. But I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I was never short of good treatment.
Right.
I always say that, whether you.
So you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I'm like, whether I had an ex or not, I'm telling you, my treatment. I don't know. I definitely think I'm gifted in the treatment. I know how to choose them with the treatment, because I ain't playing.
Right. Right.
Listen.
But that's what I mean.
For men that love Panani bad, beloved, you got to come correct when you get the right Panani, beloved. You
gotta step up to the plate.
This ain't Pokemon when you come up into this. Okay,
right.
This is heaven gates over here. So.
This is a forever stay.
Yeah, and I think that I've said this before, but I think that I'm very more vocal. Like, if I feel like I'm unsure about something, or I'm getting a vibe, and maybe that's something that I may have to stop doing, because some of when I talk to females, they're like, well, I'm not telling no man what to do, and I'm not whatever. And I do feel like some men just genuinely forget,
and they genuinely don't know.
They genuinely don't know.
There's a lot of men that don't know how to date formally, because they're used to their hiccups, their hookups turning into relationships, and you don't really have to court.
That's
a problem. I mean, it's a problem if someone comes across me who doesn't know how to date formally, or doesn't want to date formally, or don't want to put the work.
What did you say specifically? Because Michelle, you got a perspective, which I love it. I love.
No, I want to know. Do she you continue it, Michelle? If
Continue what?
If, what you just said.
She's saying that she will. No. She's saying that if a man does not come correct in dating,
that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
She does not allow them to pass go. They don't collect 200.
Right.
They don't get to buy no properties and dwell.
Right.
None of the residents.
Right.
The Monopoly game is over for them.
Right.
So, and that is because, go ahead. I would like you to explain that. And that is because
I'm at an age, I'm in my 40s. And if you don't already know how to date properly, you're not going to know how to love me properly.
Exactly. I agree.
Dating is universal. And if you don't know how, you can Google it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting anything extravagant, but I'm expecting someone with some type of etiquette. And
that's why I asked in the beginning. I want you to piggyback off of that, because that's what I was asking in the beginning when I said, like, is it more challenging to date? Because when we look at everybody that evolves and everybody that's growing, I know you're straightforward, Michelle, and I love that. But I do feel like, would you ever give a man a chance if he says, hey, well, I want you to teach me?
I know.
And
I would never.
Okay.
I'm not interested in teaching someone how to date. And not just date me, but just date in general.
Okay.
A lot of it is, we're texting, we're talking, maybe we met at the library or the Starbucks or, the Target or whatever. We exchanged numbers and now we're texting. And you haven't asked me out. I don't want to text anymore.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm not going to say that to you. I don't want to say to you, why haven't you asked me out? I'm not going to say that. I'm in my 40s. If I was 22, maybe 27, I say, when are you going to ask me out? I'm cute. Whatever. But no. And you have to, and it should be, and not that there's a specific wording that needs to be, but if you are of age, and I mean 40 or plus, because I'm 40 plus, okay, then you ask a woman out on a date. And then after she say yes, you make a plan. Don't ask me where I want to go, because I can take myself where I want to go. Where do you want to take me?
Thank you.
Because you asked me out. You approached me. I'm not out there throwing my number out and asking for, yes, am I looking to date and have fun if I'm single and doing all that? Sure. But I'm not going to give you the basic steps.
I think some men, like you said, like some men, because like I said, I'm learning so many new things now too, with understanding how some men could be so stuck in their old ways, or they're just stuck in a phase where they think the same, maybe old school lines, or the way they treated women in the past, maybe, and like you said, in their teens and their 20s, if they've been able to have that escapism, with those women for all those years,
then those are the women that they need to continue to date and get out of my lane.
Yeah. Listen, it's a new high value. Right. I do. I see, Tina, that you agree with that as well. And I think,
that's my,
I do think, because a male brought this to my attention, and this was a male that was, I believe, like in their late 30s, 40s as well, early 40s. But if I was to guess, one of the things that was mentioned was like people in that era, right? The eras of the 80, 90 babies, right? There was more emphasis on, if you marry someone, you marrying them surely because you have like an unconditional love that's deeper than whatever, right? All the women you play with outside. So as a man, that's kind of been the example that was shown to him from the streets as well. So now you have this duality where women, we want sometimes the Cinderella effect. Mm-hmm. And then we also want men that we choose, whether it's Black men or non-Black men. Mm-hmm. And when you look at, certain things that are not met within the relationship. So if you scratched out the holidays and you found that, you're just lacking in a lot of other areas, things that you did in the beginning, you're not doing anymore. And then you're now a single person now at this age, right? In your 30s and your 40s, and you're now looking to redate and get back out into the world. there is going to be a different standard in how you
Yes.
even date, because
Absolutely.
you're coming from a place of experience.
Yes.
And I think sometimes that is the conversation that's missing at the initial interaction with somebody new. When you're dating somebody new, people think you're supposed to go like a thesaurus. You're supposed to go through all the pages and know
Right.
all the synonyms and words. No, but you do need to know that if you came out something new, right? Are you
Right.
newly single? Is there something fresh for you? You know, are you looking to move on? Are you looking for something long term? Because I do think that people are okay with short term versus long term. Some people want a short term partner and they may want to be single and not live with somebody. And other
Absolutely.
people may say, no, I'm looking for somebody to get with, that I want to, marry or whatever. And I do think that we're missing some of those conversations. But I guess hopefully we'll get back to that when we talk about love now, because all we have now in this pandemic is time,
Right. Plenty of time to get to know someone.
Yeah.
you know? But it's a good spin, because I think men need to hear that. You know, some women do not feel like, I see that energy now. I don't know if you guys been watching the internet, but there's a big energy around that where girls is like, we're not here to save you. Black men, we want you to rise. I know personally, I'm always like black masculinity to the forefront.
Right. I love it.
And, we mean business. I mean, I think it's just we're in a season where you see so much that women have to go through, especially Black women.
Right.
When we talk about everything from your role as a parent to how you manage the household, to how you keep things in order,
Right.
to being able to work. Some of us is working 1, 2, 3 jobs. And, the work etiquette is like above 100 at this point. So when you meet a dude, that dude needs to be coming correct.
Right.
It's more than just the respect, beloved. It's
Right.
the respect, the check.
But that's when
and to be blessed.
you have to know what you're dating for and let that person know, listen, I'm not looking for anything long term. Okay, fine. Is it a go?
Yeah.
Or I'm looking for something long term. Or I'm not looking to live with anyone within the next, those are things that need to be expressed because, after a certain amount of time, most people want to live together.
That is true.
After time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way after time.
I was listening to her name was Jada Cheeves. That's little baby's baby mother. And one of the things that she said was she's been in relationships since high school and she wants to discover and relearn herself. So basically she was like, I guess, giving herself an affirmation of, I think it's time for me to take a journey of what it is to be single, because I've just been in relationships back to back to back. And I know that speaks volumes to even us as women, women who've been in long-term relationships. It speaks volumes because, I think for a very long time, Black women in particular, it's like you're already seen as a percentage or a group of persons who getting married is like, that's a good one. It comes across that way when you compare us to other racial groups in America. Versus, what about women who marry young and then, you may be single or you've been in a relationship for so long and you're like, okay, I need some moments to myself. I thought about what Jada Cheeves said and I said, there are women who feel like this young woman. There are teenagers who feel as though they don't want to leave their toxic boyfriend. And I look at that and I say to myself, like, do we feel a stigma in what it is to be single, not just because of the holidays, but because we either don't want to do the work ourselves to repair our own self-love? Or is it more so about, well, no, I attract people. I like being with somebody, so I can just jump into something new right away. Because if we're answering the question around healing, then it goes for all of us, right? Women. And
I think a lot of people are codependent. And that's what it boils down to, being codependent. And maybe when you left your parents' house, you left and moved in with someone.
Yeah.
So you didn't have that time alone, living alone versus whether it was 3 months, 6 months, a year. For a lot of us growing up and our time, we moved out and we moved in with someone because times were hard. There was no affordability to live in a city alone. But then you also grappled with your parents' rules and regulations. So a lot of us in our age group, we got into relationships and we stayed longer than we should have, longer than we wanted to, because we were trying to get away from a different type of responsibility.
I I
So there's a lot of people who jump from relationships to relationships, but that's the thing with cheating. You know, you in a relationship and you're cheating, and that cheating is just really somebody in the bag just in case it goes wrong, but it's going to go wrong because you're cheating. So that in and of itself is a problem. But then you always have someone. So if you get caught and it's over, then you just go on to the next one, and then it continues. And that's really the cycle that we live in. And that's why people don't know how to be alone. But there's always someone on your waiting list, regardless if you're single or not. And that's just the truth. There's always someone that wants to talk to you. So whether you see them as attractive or you think of them now or you want them now is irrelevant. There's always someone.
There's like this. Okay, there's this. Go ahead, Tina. I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback. You both ladies are right.
Yeah.
About that, but I just want to say that when you are in a long relationship, right, and you decide that you want to be out that relationship and you want to have your own. So in the midst of you being by yourself and you have your kids and you may co-parent or whatever the case may be, right? You could be happy within yourself. This is the time where you are happy within yourself, because it's better being happy with your own self, because you wasn't happy when that person was there in the household or whatever the situation was or the outcome, right?
Yeah.
So you're there and you're finding yourself and you're happy and you just can't wait to get there. Of course, you're right. Situations is going to always be knocking on your door. You're going to have people want to date you, want to be, but it's up to that person if that person entertain it or that person does not entertain it. And if that person entertain, I'm speaking in third person because I don't want to say
right
business, but I'm just saying that if you entertain it, it's the choice that you make that you entertain it to a certain level that you're not making it serious.
Right.
Because I'm not saying that eventually the girl won't want something serious.
Or the guy.
Or the guy.
Yeah.
Or the guy, right? But you situate in certain situation and make sure that person that you seeing and being and learning and understanding, if you want to really be with that person, because you just came out of a long relationship.
Right.
So you want to make sure you don't get your situation, you don't get back in that situation again.
Right.
Any other body.
I think talking more in the beginning is needed because whenever people mention like they've been in a long-term relationship, sometimes the other person that is really interested in you, they want to know more. They'll be like, okay, well, just let me know, like, what was your deal breaker or what was your, last straw. I think those things are important because I think that everybody whether it's in any relationship, if you faced any type of betrayal or hurt, there's a wall of distrust that just blocks you sometimes from even being open to your friend, to your man, to somebody new.
I think that's why we should take time off after relationships.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
There's
I was going to say
time off to reflect, to maybe apologize or to have a conscience or to think about, what all transpired or why it's over. But that's something for a long-term relationship. I don't mean somebody you were talking to for 3 or 6 months where you'd be like, okay, I got to take a year off because 3 or 6 months means absolutely nothing. But,
what's the next goal?
Somebody in a long-term relationship you were in, you should take some time off to reflect and say, okay, what did I do wrong? Because, it's not always the other person. I could have left for my own reasons and it didn't have to be you. Yeah. I could have learned something about myself that I realized, oh, this relationship doesn't work for me. So it's not always about,
some people just like, they like, to me, I feel like some people heal very differently. Some people, even if they're going to be in a place of forgiveness and going back, when people say they need a moment, that's what they need. They need a moment to clear their head. They need a moment to figure things out. They need a moment to see if they're staying or they're going.
Oh no! If you tell me it's over, I'm not coming back.
Exactly.
You're gonna throw me in the trash.
Galantine are serious, guys. These
no, I mean that.
Serious. I know.
Just let me know if you say over.
Right. The minute you say over or I don't know, it's a no. It's not a yes.
Is it different because at this stage in age, you're like, my time is valuable, but also
yes.
No. Okay. What you're offering and what you're bringing, you feel as though
yes.
You can't even play you're not with the shenanigans.
Right. Because we're not gonna be exclusive to where you feel like you don't know until we're both there. It can't be one, and one of us may get to the point of exclusivity before the other, but that's communication. That's staying on the right page. I'm not saying that, you know, if I want to be exclusive and you don't, I'm going to wait for you, because 9 times out of 10, I'm not. Because I know when I'm ready for something, and I'm going to move on.
That's big talk right there.
If we're not on the same page and you say, okay, well, I'm not ready to be exclusive now, then are you still looking to date me? Are you still looking to receive the benefits from me? Because I want exclusivity. So no, then I have to drop you. But for
that goes also to Valentine's Day, because like what you said earlier, when you're dating somebody, and depending on the length of time you're dating them, and they say to you, you know, hey, well, you know what, we're just going to 86 Valentine's Day.
Okay.
You know, because we're still getting to know each other. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
I think there are women that's okay with receiving conversation.
Absolutely.
Some women, you know, I feel as though if they do celebrate it, they'll offer something in between. Like, I do want to see you that day, though. I want to, you know, whatever.
Right.
But I don't think that every girl is like literally sitting there, especially having been in relationships, they're going, oh, well, this person better bring me something.
And my teddy bear better be this big, and I better have balloons and rose petals. No, I mean, if you want to go all out, but I'm not asking you to, I'm not expecting you to, I'm not prepping you to.
Well, let me tell you why I was telling you guys about the flowers theory. I was basically saying, like, if I like to go against the norm sometimes.
Right.
So I don't want to be given, like, you know, no, I guess like traditional treatment. Like, it's like, okay, the flowers is coming. Okay, I don't need nothing else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends. I think that's the conversation part. I think that's the conversation part that needs to have, like, you know, how far are we going to go? What are we doing? What's the plan? But again, that depends on how long you've been in a relationship. You know, if we've only been dating a couple of weeks, a month or two or whatever, and you give me some flowers, that's fine.
Yeah, that is fine.
I mean, nothing is really expected unless we had a conversation, you know.
Exactly.
And you give me flowers, fine. If you give me just a card, you know, whatever. If you give nothing, that's fine. But I think a conversation needs to be had when there isn't already a foundation set or a status quo in place to where, you know, no one's going to be upset or disappointed.
Right. With all that I said and I talked, I have received teddy bears. I received flowers on Valentine. I received all of that. I think because age, Michelle, you speak about age played a major factor. I'm in my 40s too, and my mindset is totally different. Now that I'm older, you understand what I'm saying? I'm looking for something different other than the teddy bears and flowers. That is where my mindset is at. So when I'm speaking about, I don't want to see all that stuff that I'm usually getting at any other time besides Valentine, is that I'm looking maybe for a trip this time to Alaska.
Right.
You know, that's where my mind is. Or a cruise or something, but I'm not throwing it out there. If you
I'm not asking.
My line.
Right.
And the words that's been coming out my mouth for a couple of days, you will know exactly what I need, what I want,
right,
and what would satisfy me for Valentine's Day. So I just want it to be clear,
right, and
it be noted.
You at your wit's ends. He better know, or he just can't come. That's just what it is.
That's it. So I just want to
listen. You can tell the conversation was deep today, because as you can see, my eyes is watering.
No, really.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so that's where my point is as far as Valentine's Day. But I'm not.
Well, as we wrap up, right? I do want to ask the question regarding the love language, because I feel like it was answered with the conversation, but not like where we all said
this is what it is.
What is our love language? So I want to go around the room and kind of ask, like, what is your love language and why? So we'll start with Michelle.
Okay. I think my love language is a lot of affection, a lot of hands-on, thoughtfulness. I like gifts for no reason. I like giving gifts for no reason. You know, I mean, there was a time I went on vacation with my aunts, and I left Hershey Kisses and a heart on the bed for Angelo, because he wasn't going with me, but I wanted him to know that I loved him, and you know. and I was going to be thinking about him on my trip, and he had nothing to worry about. But that's what I like.
I like that.
But that's also me telling you how I want to be treated without me having to say those words. Because now if I say, I want you to go out and put some rose petals in the shape of a heart and have some red light flashing for me, then it's not genuine.
Yeah.
You know, so this is me giving you ideas of how I want to be treated. Because again, I'm not going to ask anything of you that I'm not willing to give, you know. I've worn a trench coat to his job, you know, but that's what I like. Yes. That's my love language.
And then you're single now, but
you know, I'm single now. Moment? So, you know,
was that an epic moment? Like you just pulled up there, you had the trench on with the heels, no boots?
Yeah, I had on stilettos and I brought him lunch and it was the middle of the day.
And what season was this?
A spring.
A spring is nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's my love language. So.
And did you make love there? Did you make love there?
I understand people have different love languages.
Hold on. Don't skip out the question.
I'm sorry.
Did you make love there? You showed up there.
Right.
Ready to make love.
Right.
Did you get
no
a love lunch session? Nothing?
No.
You had to wait till he came.
His break was only 30 minutes.
Okay. I like that though.
So yeah. But that's the things that I like to do. And that's what I mean but it has to be deserving of it. You just don't get it. You know, that's not something that just falls on your lap and you say, you know, I'm going to get this from her. It has to be a give and take. And that was a season in our life where it was good.
Yeah.
And so we were deserving of things like that. But, you know, again, things don't always stay the same.
Okay.
So that's my love language. That's how I show love. And that's how I want to receive love. Now, he doesn't have to show up in a trench coat, but he gets the idea, hopefully. I mean, if you want to, you know. But, you know,
I like that.
I think that's how you express your love language without having to write it down and leave the guy a note or to say whatever. And then also, you know, you learn over time, you know.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen in the first, you know, 2-3 years. We have already been married for years.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's progression and evolution and things, you know, go on. And so you learn and you move on because you want to be happy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that example that you provided. I think it's good. My nosy ass, I'm all up in the business like that.
Yes. I love love. I love love. I love being in love. I want to be in love, but I'm not rushing and I'm not settling. And, you know, what I want is different from what I had and what I was used to and what I wanted in the past. And so I'm not willing to settle and I'm willing to wait.
Yeah.
And not be too picky.
Okay.
But I do know what I bring to the table. And I think I am very high valued in every area. So I'm not going to settle for anything less. I may not live in an area where there are men, you know, that I think are eligible bachelors for me. So I may be having a harder time because I'm not in the presence of the men that may want to marry or things like that. But, you know, I'm not too concerned.
They're gonna open up the streets in the spring and the summer. We're gonna have to get you.
I'm happy with what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, if you're still single, then you know we'll set you up. Have to set you up, girl. Yes, Tina. What is your love language?
Well, my love language is the man that knows my body, learns my body, understands my body. I love to be satisfied from head to toe, but you need to know how to do that. And I'm not going to tell you. So exploring is a big thing for me. Mm-hmm. Man that explores is everything to me. A man that communicates, great conversation is my love language. Like you got to have a conversation that stimulates my mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
And my love language is positive quotes, you know, moving messages,
you got a lot on your damn list. I asked for one here.
I'm just telling you, because I got a lot. Shows interest in nature, like a walk in the park, want to hold my hand, we talk, we have a conversation. He wants to learn about me. I want to learn about him, you know, stuff like that. And
you like a man that's like engulfed in everything you want. Is like his acts of service means a lot to you.
His act of service, that he pays attention,
Yeah.
stuff like that to my needs without me saying what I need, basically. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's my love. I don't know. I mean, that's. I mean, I could go on, but I don't want to go on.
Well, they say the 5 love languages is what? I think it's like words of
I
affirmation,
say words
quality
of
time,
affirmation,
it's
quality
acts of
time.
service, it's physical touch.
Yes.
I feel like wait, what is what I have on this card here? I think gifts is on there too. I'm not sure. Gifts. So
Yeah, the gifts too. I like a man that shower me with gifts.
yeah.
I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that. But I don't want to tell you to buy me it. So if you
Right.
get it, you're getting it. And that will just give me heads over heels over things. You know?
We can
And
just,
I have given gifts. If it's a good gift, he's getting gifts. But if it's not
Yeah.
if it's not a thoughtful gift, he will not be thought of a gift.
you're not buying him anything. I don't know. I think
And your love language.
my love language would definitely be I think I'm going to say it's a cross between communication and quality time. So I feel like with all of the love languages and the definitions of them, yes, a lot of us yearn for some of those things. For me, I think I like honesty. That's why I'm so like interested in the theories around like, you want honesty, you want to be lied to. I'm interested in that more so because I feel like I'm a straight shooter with certain things. There's certain things I feel like I can handle. There's certain things, if I feel like it's not for me, I'm more vocal. So I don't know. I'm definitely more turned on when a man is super honest.
Yes.
I think you add deep intellectual talker and, someone who I know has like, you don't just do the work just for panani points, right? You do the work because you like having that discussion. But I think sometimes when you're able to speak with somebody and reason with them, I don't know, it's a panty wetter. It's like
it is.
It's like wow, I'm happy when I learn something as well as
bravery and honesty. And that's really what it is. It's courage and honest, especially if you've messed up big time. It's courage.
And we're secret champions for that as a people. Like we want people to sometimes.
I get it that I'm gonna be upset that you messed up, but it's better than me being mad that you did whatever you did, regardless of what it was, and then being again hurt in a separate way because you lied.
Yeah.
So I can't trust you to tell me the truth, and then I can't trust you not to do what you've done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really the part that hurts.
Yeah. Because I'm okay with I'm okay with, if you, like I said, if you genuinely forget a day or something, it's fine. But I'm definitely big on like no different than a birthday, right? If there's different days in the month, and what can't maybe happen on this day, you have you can kind of come up with something. So it's totally okay with me if you like miss something, but I'm more big on you can't miss my birthday. You can miss anything else, but if you close to me, as a partner or a spouse, I mean, you're supposed to have that in your memory bank,
or in your calendar.
Come on now. And I'm big on. I think I'm like such a gifter in a way where if you on my mind, I'm thinking of you. It could be something as small as if you a dude that likes to cook, I think, buying a Duda pot set is like the most amazing thing,
right?
Because somebody that got a nice kitchen and they like to cook it up nice for you.
But that's also a gift for someone that you don't live with.
It is, but
it's not a gift for someone that you live with. You can't buy me a household gift if we live together.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, when people talk about dating and just being with somebody, it's like you can do small things that would really make a great impact versus when you live with somebody, like I said, the whole like, I'm not expecting you to just throw roses and stuff like that. If you throw roses in the vase normally every Wednesday or every Thursday, I don't need you to throw an extra bouquet to be like, hey, Kay, in addition to your gift, you wake up with the roses. Because I'm not really a fan of that. Now you say, you know what? I know my lady likes some candles. So if I do breakfast this morning and I add maybe 2 new candles that I know she's going to love, you get my attention because I'm not even looking for you to have done that in that way. And see, that's inexpensive. Now, if you present a gift, and the gift is in line with maybe something I said I wanted before, or something that I could use now in whatever I've shared with you, then yes, panty wetter again. Like I'm in for that, you know, and then I'm gonna
gift you.
I'm gonna gift
put
you
a bow on it and gift it to you. So we both get
I'm gonna give you the biggest prize, right?
I like that. Be the gift. I would love that. Be tied and be the gift. I love that.
That's how I was when she talks about, the appreciation and, just what it is to have affection and showing up that way. I love that because, not that I've never done that, but I'm just saying it just sounds sexy as fuck. But it just sounds it sounds like yo, this is what we need to be doing.
Right.
Or just in general, I think everybody has different ways in which they entice their partner. But I love when things are, like I said, not of the norm per se, because they bring a different spark sometimes. You're not getting off the scale.
Right.
You dancing, you tilting a little bit, you shaking up the scale a little bit. I like that energy. I like that a lot.
I love love, but that's for love, that's not for life.
That is for love and love. And, just to end, I feel like, what I enjoyed a lot about this conversation is like, I think people, when they see, whether it's women talking or whether it's like just girl chat, they assume that we already know so much about each other that we don't.
Right.
So with us having life experience, with us getting able to talk about just certain shit, I think that it takes a brave soul to talk about some of the shit that we be talking about. And it only elevates from here because, we talking that fucking shit. Okay. And all I'm going to say to that is that I think when you look at love, always think about what you're contributing to the love that you say and that you want to receive to.
Right.
That's a big thing. And I think that we're in an energy and a time where we're self-assessing. So be self-aware because you want that love from others and you got to be willing to give it.
Yes. And we also have to be willing to accept the type of love that he knows how to give. In addition to saying, this is how I want to be loved, but I also have to be a recipient of how he already loves. And then say, okay, I accept that love. I love that love. I want that love, but I also want you to love me this way. So I'm not saying you have to swap one for the other, but now we both have work to do because his love language may not be mine. So it takes time for him to learn it. My love language may not be his. So it's going to take time for me to learn his. So now you're seeing what I'm doing for you. That's what I want you to do for me. Now I see what you're doing for me. I know that's what you want me to do for you. And then we swap love language without losing who we are and our own language.
Yeah. I don't think that women have to be first too. I don't think that men have to always be the first.
No,
everything as well.
Not.
Right. And that's a challenge right there. Especially if you're the one that's always doing it and allowing him to lead. Because some women allow men to lead. Like I've always allowed the man to be leading anything. So that was a challenge for me. So you just taught me something that I need to learn to do. It's not that easy to make a man lead in anything.
Right.
So
I don't want to teach anybody how to lead. Like you have to lead. I want you to. I want to be vulnerable, submissive, transparent, but that's something that has to come naturally. I'm not just going to fall on a sword because you're a man, simply because you're a man, or simply because you're financially stable or you're emotionally stable. That's something that we have to progress to together.
Exactly. Yeah. Or accept that responsibility and that challenge. That's the thing. Accept it.
I think that's big. That's big.
Lead me doesn't mean belittle me. Lead me. Be positive.
Be positive. Exactly.
Good energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good advice. Good opinions.
I think that solves it right there. I mean, if you didn't learn nothing, you learned some stuff today from three beautiful women that's giving you just some gems on just what it is, whether you are celebrating solo, whether you are in a relationship or not. You should definitely utilize that day to commemorate your own self-love. And if you are with someone, you can gift them in very small ways that make great impact and big impact the same way. And for those of you that don't celebrate it, I understand that too. We know the history. We know that black folks gonna have to start switching up every holiday because it's just every American holiday has like such a negative
triggers.
And when you talk about the money value, whether it's Halloween and costumes, whether it's Valentine's Day, whether it's Mother's Day, a lot of money is spent. Restaurant money, et cetera, you name it. And I do think that when you are even looking to communicate with somebody, make sure that they also are somebody that's open to some of the new ideas or the things that you're saying. Because some people like to shut you down as well. Meaning some people are like, I'm stubborn now. I ain't got time to hear this pity pat talk about what your love day is. You know, the bill is due, you know, do you want the bill paid or not?
Right.
You know, and then you got some that's like, listen, man, I didn't spend $200 for this dinner. You know, are you dropping the panties or not? You know, it's serious.
I mean, if we're giving each other gifts.
Oh, you giving me half.
You know, there's a different kind of talk out here. You know, and then some that's like, we single and then we back to exclusive after the 14th because I just can't afford a gift for you. I just can't. You know, you hear it a lot from men. They be talking that shit like I can't afford it but I do think that the goal is that, you know, if you're going to partake, just know that the layers of love don't stop and your love languages don't stop just because of Valentine's or no other day. You should be.
And they're ever changing.
They're ever changing because we're all ever evolving. We constantly evolving. We constantly grow.
Absolutely. Every day.
I like this. Look at us, white on white, looking right tonight and all that. Like we going somewhere tonight. Look at my Michelle fresh off her vacation. Okay, I like that. Boo, 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 boo. They nothing to be sad. Okay, look at what refreshed. Okay, straight Venus style on them. I like that energy. You know, just don't worry, you shine in the same way. I see you. Okay,
yes, we are shining. All of us.
Lipsticks are nice and bright. I feel like the most lazy and low. You know, I'm subdued. You know, you know what it was like. When it's February, especially, like I feel like when it gets super cold, my immune system, I have to be loaded up on my elderberry, sea moss, all that stuff. So, and then I do a weekly detox as a part of my February cleansing, where I have to do 24 hours with just like fluids and water. Whenever you don't see me drinking wine or anything, it's not that I don't want to kiki, but it's just that sometimes I'm like, wait, I'm fresh off of something else.
Right.
Girl, we got to get snatched. We trying to get snatched for the spring. We want to be snatched.
That's right. Yes.
So I've been on my journey, but yeah, this was awesome. I really like the flex today. This was awesome.
I had an awesome time.
It was great. It was amazing.
And my girls is always going, you know, we shy with some things, but you know, you got to ease it out. I can't give y'all everything. Some of y'all be glued to listening to the episode. Like, I want to hear the juicy part. You'll hear doses, okay? You'll know what we like. We know what you'll be told what you need to do, okay? To get it wet up. You know what I mean? Valentine's Day, ladies, don't do too much, but if need be, if you get a wonderful gift, yes, bow yourself up.
Yes.
You know, reciprocate that energy.
Absolutely.
And love is always love. So we're going to say sayonara and we're going to say bye to that because it's all about regarding that. Yeah.
Regarding that.
Bye.